Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Success Life Live. My name is ERICGREID. I am a coach and a speaker and a trainer and I don't know, creative person in general, I guess. It's so fun because people say, what is it you do? And it's sort of like, what is it I do? And the other day somebody told me that I was a catalyst of change. And I was like, yeah, I've always identified with that idea of being a catalyst. There she is, Miss Donna. Good morning. Good morning, Elle. What I love doing is that creative process, that thinking process, that leaning into people and showing them the possibilities and the opportunities that are in their business and in their life, and sort of giving them that little bit of a spark, that little bit of a ignite, that little bit of fuel to move forward. And in the coaching process, that typically happens weekly or bi-weekly. In a training or speaking process that maybe happens during an event with follow-up. But the reason I love that word and the reason I love being in that space is because I can see the tremendous possibilities in people. I can see the tremendous possibilities and opportunities for teams and organizations. And often we get so stuck in the middle of it. You know, that expression, you can't see the frame because you're in the picture thing or whatever it is. My ability to pull back, my ability to separate out, my ability to hear maybe in a larger space allows me to see it and then express it in a way that they can identify with it and move forward. So I'll be happy to call myself the catalyst for the rest of the day. But in the meantime, good morning, Dr. Reed. Y'all know Dr. Reed, he'll be signing up in the next month or two to start his doctorate program. Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you in the room. Glad to have you in the house. Take a minute, say hello. If you're new, say hello. Say whether it's live or in replay if you got this through the share. Oh, interesting stat, and I'm going to put something together and probably share it out through the email list just regarding social media impact marketing and advertising and social media. I've heard this statistic that only about 6% penetration on your social media. What that means is that you may have 2,000 friends on your Pinterest or Instagram or Facebook page. At any given time, only about 6% of those people are seeing what you're doing. And so if you're wondering why you've got 2,000 followers but only 10 people engaged, 6%. So how do you raise that 6%? How do you raise that engagement? How do you raise that community involvement? Well, consistency, but also sharing and liking and commenting and having people host watch parties or sharing it with a friend and commenting, being part of that expanding group. And then being consistent, creating enough of an interest that they begin to follow you. So anyhow, it was a lot of stats and numbers and things around how to grow business online, but how social media is sometimes, it's a false god. We think because we have 3,000 or 4,000 friends that we're going to have a penetration into those 3,000 or 4,000 people every day. And why isn't our business growing? I've got all these friends, likes, shares, whatever. That's kind of why. But anyhow, good morning, Matthew, with your big old smile for being out there today. November challenge. Y'all got to check out Matt. He's our fitness guy. He's our get it right in the body guy. So today I wanted to do sort of a check-in. And this is a check-in you can do for yourself. It's a check-in, good morning, Teresa. A check-in you can do for your team, for your kids, for your family, for your organizations, or for your clients. And it's really asking 3 C's. And I'll give you the 3 C's. And it's what is your character? What is your commitment? And what is your competency? And so that character thing, as I've described above, is that who you are. What is your value statement? What is my character today? Who am I showing up as? Not who do I want, like who am I? And then the commitment, how committed to this goal, this project, this team, this idea, these values am I? And then what is my competency? Meaning, how well do I know what I know? How well do I know what I need to know? How well am I executing those character values, that consistency values. How well am I doing what I say I want to be doing? I had a note here and now I can't find it. Anyhow, we'll let it go. I got too many notes on here, just so y'all know. So here's what I do. So when I start in the morning, it's like when I look at my schedule, when I look at my day, when I look at the things that I'm being engaged in, I'll say, okay, who is my character as it relates to this person? Who is my character as it relates to this event, this project, this thing that I'm creating? What is my character? And by character, I'm talking about those core values, those things that don't change no matter who and where you're at. Do I need to show up as a leadership? Do I need to show up as a listener? Do I need to show up as supportive, encouraging, accountable? What is the nature of who I am? The stuff that bubbles and perks in me, my DNA. What is my character for who I am today? And I don't mean to say your character changes, but pieces of who you are. We're all a blend and a mismatch and, combination of art. Sometimes I need to be the quiet, silent listener. Other times I need to be the bold, strong leader. Other times I need to say, that's not who I am. I don't step over that line. That is against my character. It's about my integrity. It's about my ethics. It's about my honesty. It's about my kindness. These are lines that I draw, and sorry, where I'm going today with this, I've got to be firm on those things because I could be pulled out of those values. And then what is my commitment to it? Like, how committed am I to integrity? How committed am I to honesty? How committed am I to leadership and supporting and loving and caring? Good morning, Miss Melanie Massey. Loved watching you guys at the beach. She's just a magical woman. That's all I'm going to put for her. Good morning, Greg. Hope the Pope approved our little lesson plan that we need him to start putting out. So how committed am I? And sometimes when I check the how committed am I often slide in why am I committed? And if my commitment scale is like a 3, then I'll ask, why am I only committed at 3? Does this really have value? Or am I just faking it and saying it because that's what everybody says I should be doing, and so therefore I'm kind of committed to it, but I'm really not committed to it because I'm not really invested in it because I don't really care if it makes it or fails? Then stop. Or figure out how you can move that commitment level from a 3 to a 6 to an 8. Sometimes it's really going back a layer. Like, oh, I'm committed to, paying off my credit cards. And when I hear somebody say that, I'm like, okay, that sounds like a 2. Why are you committed to paying off your credit cards? Oh, because, I really can't be carrying this debt. What would happen if tomorrow you weren't able to work to continue to pay off that debt? Oh my gosh. Well, what do you mean, oh my gosh? Well, then my family, my kids, my spouse would have to take over, and I don't know if we could survive on one credit card or one income with this credit card debt. And then they start to see that the value of paying off the credit card debt isn't because that's the right thing to do. It's because it could cause harm, or it could reduce their freedom or their flexibility or the decisions they're allowed to make. And so their commitment level might raise. Or when I say, how committed are you to losing weight? And they're like, yeah, I really want to lose weight. It's almost summertime. Okay. Have you had a doctor's report? Yeah, I went to the doctor. He says I have high blood pressure. Oh, what is one of the side effects of high blood pressure? Well, I could have a stroke. Oh, so you get it? Sometimes we have to dig a little deeper to find that commitment. And then that competency level. As you begin to grow and move and shift and change your life, what got you here ain't going to keep you there, kind of thing. We got to go in and say, okay, the skills, the talents, the things that I know now brought me to this awareness point, but this isn't where I want to stop. And so how do I get to the next awareness point or growth point is through growing my knowledge, growing my wisdom, growing my experiences, growing my influence, or those influencing me. And so when I ask, how is my competency? It may be like, I got this. And anytime I say I got this, I know that I'm pretty much lazying it. I'm floating through. Like when I say, yeah, got this, It either means I've prepared for the event and I feel confident, or I've done it so many times it doesn't require me to do anything more than just showing up and just running through it. And that's a lousy way to go through life. So when you start your day today, or when you check in with your kids, or when you're good morning, Joy, when you're hanging out with your teammates, ask, what's our character as a company, as a team, as an organization, as a family, as my son, as my daughter? Let's check in on your character. What are the core values that you hold true to you? How are those holding up in the pressure of being a teenager? How are those holding up in the pressure of this competition in our office or in the recent changes in your marriage? How are those core values holding up? Okay? How committed are we to those core values or to this idea of this being who we are? How can we make sure that that commitment stays strong and grows? And then what do I need? What do you need? What do we need as an organization to go to the next level? Because we're doing great. We're performing. We're showing up. We've got it's Wednesday. We got still momentum in our stride. So how can I as a leader, how was I as a parent, how was I as a team member, an owner, or a friend, or a coach, how can I help you raise your competency? Now that doesn't mean I might have the answer, the wisdom, the talents, the tools to do it, but I can always direct you and bring that awareness to you. Good morning, Miss Allison. So check in on those three things. What is my character? How is it holding up? Do I know what my character is? Do my children know what our family's core values are? And I'm big on that. Ooh, don't get me started kind of thing. Big on, does my family know what our core values are? And I'm going to give you a hint. You may think they do, but if you asked them to name 3, 5 core values of your family, you might be surprised to hear. And that's where I always say, post it on the refrigerator, or on the garage door, because everybody goes in and out of their house through the garage. All right, see, you got me started. So I was working with a parent, and they were constantly yelling at their kid, like, oh, and they were just like, I hate our relationship. And I was like, I understand. I mean, trust me, I'm a parent. I've been a parent a couple hundred times as a foster. And I said, well, how was the behavior that they were displaying in alignment with your family's core values? And it was like, what do you mean our core values? I was like, so you're upset about a behavior because it doesn't align with your values, your expectations, your needs, but yet how is the child supposed to know that that's out of alignment? So as we talked about it, if one of the core values is, the behavior related, and they knew that, then instead of yelling at the child, you would just bring them back in alignment with that core value. You would say, you know what, you're displaying isn't really part of our family's core values. You remember part of our values as a family is this, and what I'm seeing you displaying is out of that. Help me understand. I'm checking your character. I'm checking your commitment. I'm checking your competency on that value. It shifts the dynamic. Now you can say, look, our core goes through the 3 C's. Our core value. The character that we want to display as a family is this. Are you committed to being part of this family? Are you committed to holding up our core values? Are you committed to these values? Yes, no, why, how come? How can I help you better grow into those values? How can I help you better understand those values? How can I help you better value those? How can I lean into and teach you so that you can be successful at number 1? Your character. It shifts the dynamic when you know what your character is supposed to be. It shifts the dynamic for you, for your team, for your family, for your organization, for the people around you. It takes you out of having to be in a police state when you're a parent and into being in a coaching and a leadership and a development state. So ask yourself today, what is my core value? What is my character? How committed am I to that? And where do I need to be to grow it? And, I'm going to say selfishly, Success Life Live, being in a community like this, connecting and sharing with each other helps. Being on the podcast or the radio show or being on the newsletter where once a week you get a Success Life coaching tip, those are all tools that feed in. If you came into my office, you'd see I've got like 6 notebooks. Each of them is for a different coach, a different teacher that I'm hanging out with. so that I can plug into them, and then when I need them in my mind, in my thoughts, in my behaviors, I can go straight to the notebook and not have to dig through all kinds of stuff to find them. So the 3 C's, that's all we got today. What is your character? What is your commitment? What is your competency? Focus on those every day for the next 30 days. Preach, brother. Oh, thank you, Greg. I miss Greg. He's just gotten so famous and such a world traveler. We don't get to see him as often. But it is Wednesday. And so Greg's going to post below the link for the Lion's Den. He's going through the 15 laws with people that have influenced him and that he feels best represented. Good morning, David. David is just cranking out some good content lately. I've been watching his little posts and questions. Love it. And see, that's what I love about this group is throughout the day getting in to check in and see what you guys are doing and seeing what you're creating and how you're interacting and changing. It just, it just inspires me, helps me grow. And I didn't see Sonia check in. If she did, oh well. Today starts 21 Laws of Leadership. Woo! Check it out, y'all. You better be in that room. You master those 21. Yeah, funny story about those. I'll have to share it later on how I came to know them. Sonia's Tin Can Moments. I got to spend some time talking with her last night. Y'all, send her a message, send her an email, send her a link, send her a DM, send her whatever you need to send and tell her you need to get on the Tin Can Moments mailing list. Because when that book and that whole thing releases, you're going to be able to say, ooh, I was there when it started. I was there when it launched. That happened almost 8 months ago on Fun Friend Friday. And I tell you, when it opens, when it goes, when it releases into the universe, you're going to be like walking through bookstores and shopping malls or whatever going, I know that. I was there. So do check in with her. It's amazing what she created. She has been just inspired and divined. So Friday is Liz, and we're going to talk about her book, which is a visual meditation guide. It's photos as a professional photographer, and then meditations and inspiration around it. We're talking about just finding your joy and creating joy in your life and how to celebrate joy and all things joy. So step into that this Fun Friend Friday, invite a guest. And in the meantime, make sure you subscribe to the email list, ericgreid.com/subscribe. Tuesday is sort of a coaching tip. Typically, it's a 4-step, 5-step to something. And then I think I'm going to start putting in like one more during the week. I'm still not sure. It may be a sidebar on the Tuesday of just things to watch, things to see, things to be involved in that are kind of around the main success life experience. We'll see. But you have to get on the email list to see if it changes. Enough said on that. If you need me, direct message me. 11 a.m. Eastern time over on Greg's. It's really good. And, it's Greg, so why wouldn't you jump in? And by the way, if anybody has something that's going on, let me know. Or if anybody's like, I'd really love to be a Fun Friend Friday guest, or you really need to have this person as a guest, let me know. I sometimes, have to figure out how to coordinate and connect to people. And so I can use your help on that. I'd be happy to use your help on that. Somebody said we should just have Fun Friend Friday, Monday through Friday, and I'm not opposed to it. This is all about giving to you and adding value to you and your experience and helping you grow. So let me know. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. Until then, go out and live your life with success. It is yours. And yes, contrary to what people may made you think in the past, contrary to the belief system that you've been holding on to up until now, contrary to what your 3rd grade teacher said, you are worthy. You are worthy of it. And never doubt that. And never let anybody take that away from you. If you hear somebody say that, well, who do you think you are? Just say, hey, Eric said I'm worthy. I'm living with that. You get a choice. You are worthy, my friend. Worthy. Bye-bye.